Ethiopia, the country of crosses and cross makers. Pilgrims come to Lalibela from all over the Christian highlands. Here amongst the 11 rock churches, Christmas is celebrated just as it's been celebrated since the Middle Ages. The chants and dances of the church singers, the debtorers, have reminded many observers of scenes from the Bible. It is thought they resemble the chants and dances of the Israelites. Christianity has survived in the Ethiopian highlands since it became the official religion of the Kingdom of Aksum in the year 333 AD. Francisco Alvarez wrote,
"All the priests, monks and lords carry crosses in their hands, both on foot and on horseback. And the laymen and the common people carried little crosses around their necks."
The cross meant stability and survival. The Ethiopian Orthodox faith follows many Old Testament traditions. Some of the customs are distinctly Judaic, such as the dancing and shaking of sistra or rattles during the celebration of Mass. The debtorers dance and rattle their sistra like David and his people dancing around the ark. Lalibela was conceived as the New Jerusalem, just a few years after the Holy City fell into the hands of the Arabs. Although threatened from all sides by enemies of the religion, Ethiopia has survived as the outpost of the cross. Religion and warfare, the bullet and the cross, twin impulses of the Ethiopian spirit. Listen now to part of the text worn or carried by the faithful on parchment scrolls, which the Ethiopians have towards the cross.
"On the cross alone I do depend. It is my fortress and my strength. Cross, light of the blind, Savior of the whole world, cross above all things. Cross destroying the enemy. Cross, spear and shield of the church. Cross, the martyr's crown. Cross, refuge of the poor. Cross, succor of the afflicted. Cross, the virtue of the just. Cross, strength and power of the weary. Cross, making the dumb speak. Cross, ear of the deaf and faith of the saints. Cross, guide to the blind. Cross, wood of life. Cross, wood of salvation. Cross, calm of the sea. Cross, bread of the hungry. Cross, fountain of the thirsty. Cross, clothing of the naked. Cross, the rod that struck Satan. Cross, my faith. Cross, my light. Cross, my hope. Cross, my succor. Cross, my grace. The cross was made, and the high was brought low, and the low was raised up.
Some of the celebrations and processions carry one right back to the time of Christ. Timkat, or Epiphany, celebrates the baptism of Jesus in the River Jordan. Another important festival celebrates the finding of the true cross by Empress Helena, the mother of Constantine the Great. It was Constantine who started to promote the use of the cross as a symbol of the faith when he was converted to Christianity in the year 312 AD. During Timkat, or Epiphany, the arks are carried back to their respective churches in a joyful procession. The dancing becomes quite wild and animated. It's accompanied by the harp of David as well as by the drum. everyone wears a neck cross or has a pattern tattooed on the forehead. In about 1450, Emperor Tsar Jakob issued a decree.
In order not to be confused with the enemy, every Ethiopian will henceforth wear a cross suspended at the neck. The poor, those who do not have the means to buy themselves one, can wear a blue ribbon around their necks.
From the time of Tsar Jakob, Ethiopians made large numbers of neck crosses in an infinite variety of forms. Pierre Petrides pioneered the study of crosses and is the leading authority on the subject. These are some of his beautiful and rare long-stemmed crosses found only in Ethiopia. This is a model of the oldest Ethiopian cross, which can be dated with certainty. King Tantautum, who reigned between 980 and 1020 AD, gave it to a church, the inscription says. This cross, with the classic lalibela form, dates from the 10th or 11th century. Francisco Alvarez saw no painted crosses at the time of his travels in 1520, but some crosses of the late 14th and early 15th centuries seem to contradict his observations.
On no cross is a crucifix painted. Neither have they any of solid carving, because, they say, they are not deserving to see Christ crucified.
This cross has a human figure as a handle, like Atlas supporting the world. The legend of how the cross stemmed from the tree of paradise is popular in Ethiopia. Some say the human figure could be Adam carrying a crown made of this wood. Whether carved from solid rock like this cruciform church at Lalibela, or shaped from a small piece of silver like the neck cross worn by this little girl, or even carried by saints as depicted in relief inside rock churches, the symbol of Christianity is triumphant in Ethiopia. The forms of the cross you have seen in this film are the central creation of traditional Christian Ethiopian culture. In the words of Pierre Petrides,
designing a cross, making a cross, wearing a cross, became for them a daily act of faith. Haunted by the future, terrified by the hereafter, the Ethiopians placed all their hope of survival and assurance of salvation in the mystical power of that sign, which typified victory over death and proclaimed the resurrection.